everybody. I'm on a field trip today, so I'm not able to be with you today. I wish I could see you, though. Oh, there you are. I'm at a field trip, and even though I'm not here, I want you to be able to go over some things with political polling. And I have an assignment I'm going to have you do, and you're going to use the mobile lab here, and in a few minutes you need to check out a lab, and then you can work on this assignment. Now, I already shared it with you. And the assignment looks like this. It's a political polling assignment, and I want you to look at different political polls. Sometimes we can do political polling to determine what issues are important to candidates. Sometimes we look at political polling to determine how people actually voted. Like a poll might be, how did you vote in the last presidential election? And then we put those demographics and we chart those to figure out who's voting for which candidate or what issues or whatever. There's different types of polls. So one poll I want you to go to is an exit poll. And in this website, when you go here, it's going to show you an exit poll of the last presidential election. And it's going to break it down. Like those in red here voted for Mitt Romney. Those in blue voted for Obama. And you can see that in all states, more women voted for President Obama than voted for Mitt Romney. And then you can look at it in race and how that plays out, and age and so on. You can look at a past presidential election also. So I want you to look at these demographics: income, ideology, marriage versus single, things like that. Okay? And then answer some questions based on that. So which are the strongest voting groups? Who are more likely going to vote Democrat than Republican based on those exit polling? And then where did the party do the worst? And put that information here. And then from this, based on that stuff, what do you think that the party should do in the next presidential election to try to appeal to those groups that they really didn't do so well with in the last election? You know, so come up with an idea what the Democrats need to do to appeal to whoever is wherever they did poorly at. And the same thing with the Republicans. The next one I want you to go to is this one. And in this website, it shows the percentage of people who voted for a particular candidate. Okay, and again, the blues are Democrat, the red are Republican. And it breaks down to the states. So in California, with 55 electoral votes, you can see that 59% of Californians voted for the Democratic candidate. And over here are the ones that Obama won easily. Over here are the ones that Romney won easily. These are the ones that are the states that were the closest. I want you to look at those numbers a little bit and answer some questions that go along with that. Then I want you to go to this website. And in this website, it breaks down all 50 states. And you need to go to all 50 of them. And what it does is it'll show you the voting trends in these states over the past, I think 10 presidential elections. So we can look at, let's just randomly pick one. Let's pick Minnesota here. Okay, and it'll show here, but if you go down here, the green, they haven't voted yet. That's the next presidential election. It'll show the number of electoral votes they have. Notice the 10 below, and at one point they had 11 and 1.12. When it's blue, that means they voted for the Democratic candidate. The red is for the Republican candidate. Notice in Minnesota, for the last 10 elections, they voted for the Democratic candidate. And then it breaks it down on other things too. So you need to look at all of the states, each one of those. And then as you look at each state, which ones are the most consistent Democrat, which ones are the most consistent Republican. And then based on that information, answer some questions here. Based on questions from 4 and 5, answer question 6 here. And then lastly, you need to go to this website. It's called the polling report. And that polling report, it's going to tell you what issues are important to Americans. Actually, it's got lots of stuff here. But you see national priorities right here. Go to that national priorities and look at what issues are the most important for voters today. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to look on that same website Choose 3 of these and see what is the opinion of most people on here. Okay, so if you're at that website, I can find which one I had, the polling report one. If you go down to national or issues, abortion and budget and crime and education and energy, find ones that you find interesting and get some idea, and then look at these polls, and it'll tell you what the people of America believe. Now, you want to look at the more recent polls. One of the things that we haven't talked about with political polling is that polls are only accurate within a few weeks, okay, maybe only 2 weeks. So you don't want to look at a poll, what did America believe about gun laws in 1999? You want to look at what they believe now. But sometimes they'll give you trends, which is kind of interesting. So you might want to look at how this has changed from, maybe the last 10 years. Maybe it's support a particular issue. How has that changed today versus where it was maybe 5 or 10 years ago, which gives you some idea on trends. And then political parties and candidates can use this information to give them an idea of what kind of issues or stances that the voters have. And then they can, cater to that a little bit. It gives candidates some idea of this information, give candidates some idea of where they've done well and where they've done poorly in previous presidential elections. And if they're losing poorly in one demographic, then maybe they need to try to change that. How do they pick up votes in that demographic? And then when you look at the states, it gives you some idea of what states you have a legitimate chance of winning based on historical trends. In what states are you pretty sure you're going to win? And then maybe what states you need to focus a majority of your time in. And by looking at some of this polling information, you get some idea, if you're a candidate, you get some idea of what you need to do or who you need to appeal to or what issues to deal with. And that's what I want you to look at, those kinds of issues. Have a good day. You'll need to check out a computer here and sign in, but you have to sign the sign-in form. We haven't used this mobile lab before, and then you should be able to, it should be shared with you. You should be able to get this completed within this class period, but if not, the rest of it is homework that you need to do on your own. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.